document, it's not clear who is the minister responsible for this bill on the front bench. Is there no minister taking any interest in these affairs at all? The Minister for Exiting the European Union has been very notable by his absence from the chamber now, and indeed for a large part of the debate yesterday.
My Lords, the Minister for Exiting the European Union is at an important meeting at the moment and will be rejoining.
I mean, the reality is, it's his private members' business. As I said at the end of yesterday, the government front bench is on strike again. It's as simple as that. That's what it's all about.
Does the British public realise it's being asked to consider a situation in which it might create a position in which Her Majesty would consider it was essential for her to abdicate?
We want answers. We want answers from our government. Firstly, will leaving the EU mean that the UK will have fully recovered its sovereignty? Because we think, and we want the government to answer this, we think, although it will have repaired the damage caused by the Lisbon Treaty, these are his words, there are numerous other breaches which remain. We still don't take back control.
We have this wonderful paper called the Yellow Hammer, which tells us all the dreadful things which will happen if we do go no-go. Now, my secretary has got an alternative list which I have compiled with called the Black Vulture, which is my list of the things which they don't know about, which will happen if we don't go no deal. And the first of those is the hazard it creates for the Crown.
Okay, why the term Black Vulture? Well, for those of you who've been following the House of Lords debacle, we had one lifetime Lord, Lord James of Blackheath, who was prepared to speak out a week ago now, September 2019. He pointed out that if we stay in the EU, we would be subject to the Lisbon Treaty still.
If the Lisbon Treaty is allowed to stand and is not wiped away at midnight on the 31st, then we are all, every one single man jack of us, in breach of our oath on joining this House, because we have allowed the omniscience of Parliament to be reduced by the elimination of the veto which was standing in our benefit until the Lisbon Treaty.
It's not going to restore to us the right of veto, which was lost with the signing of the Lisbon Treaty on the 13th of December 2007. Lisbon Treaty is very real. We would remain wholly subject to the laws and rules decreed and ordered from Brussels. We would have caused Her Majesty to be put in breach of her coronation oath, not to in any way reduce the omnipotence of Parliament, and we would be subject to levels of taxation imposed by Brussels sufficient to cure all the ills of the rest of Europe, and our sovereignty would have been irreparably damaged. Remember, I've done videos about the Lisbon Treaty. I'm getting confirmation from a Lord that he is now aware of the implications of the Lisbon Treaty. I wasn't wrong.
Now, the first person we need to be concerned about in that respect is Her Majesty, because we have the power of government placed in our hands by the coronation oath that she swears never to diminish, but we have diminished it for her. In those circumstances, does the British public realise it's being asked to consider a situation in which it might create a position in which Her Majesty would consider it was essential for her to abdicate? If that did occur, would it ever be possible to resurrect the monarchy, because nobody else could swear the same coronation oath? So let us be realistic about this. And my whole criticism of the situation of opposition to no-go at the moment is that we simply have not informed the British public at what is at stake. It goes way beyond this. We have this wonderful paper called the Yellow Hammer, which tells us all the dreadful things which will happen if we do go no-go. Now, my secretary has got an alternative list which I have compiled with called the Black Vulture, which is my list of the things which they don't know about, which will happen if we don't go no deal. And the first of those is the hazard it creates for the Crown. But the second, will somebody please tell us the truth about the European Defence Union? This is by far the biggest issue facing the British public, and they know nothing about it officially. Can we please have a proper account of what it entails?
Will the UK still maintain its Army, Navy and Air Force to provide our own